we're very realistic that a lot of that success very well might have been through geography. We just didn't have a lot of great competitors. We weren't that great. And I think the fact that we were willing to pump the brakes and ask ourselves, what are we doing really well? And what do we need to do better? Do we really understand our brand? Do we really understand our niche? Likewise, do we have systems to scale? Can we actually replicate this if we weren't in the building? We were asking ourselves those questions, and it, I don't think we needed to wait 4 years. I think it just became weird trying to find a second location, but it for sure made us delay 2 years.
Yeah.
And I hear from a lot of my, the people, I'm not going to call them young mentors, but young in the business, that will come to me and they constantly talk about that, it's a land grab. And I'm like, it's never in the restaurant space.
A land grab? What did you say?
A land grab.
Land grab.
Like, I've got something kind of good. I've got to scale it. I've got to make the real estate. I've got all these competitors in the market that are going to beat me to the corner that I want. And you have to kind of pause and go, gosh, go ahead and let your competitor burn through their money.
Yeah, and then
go
we'll
to
be their
that
exit
corner
strategy.
Yeah, and then go ahead and buy that spot or take it over. Like slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
If you look at these
Big picture,
iconic
long
brands that
game.
know who they are and are playing the long game.
Yep.
So again, we had some really good mentorship. Specifically at that time, Tom Sims, the founder of Mimi's Cafe, and he's gone on. Two of his sons are incredible restaurateurs. Chris Sims, Lazy Dog Cafe.
Yes.
Mike Sims has
I had
got
Chris Sims on the show.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, great friend of mine. Mike Sims, his younger
I
brother.
forgot he's out here, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I should hit him up. Okay.
I'll give you his number. I should give you his number on the
think it's in
podcast.
my
Then
phone,
everyone can have
honestly.
it. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. Just joking,
Yeah.
Chris. But then also Mike Sims, his younger brother has been unbelievably successful with Simsies and their fine dining. But Tom is just this like legendary restaurant person, but it's because he's truly a professor. I go back to
There we go again.
Tom probably gave me one of the greatest lessons. And it was the lesson that I try to give other mentorees, and some don't get it, but it was the hearing something I didn't want to hear, because the first thing he said to me was, "Yeah, on your next store, you got to go out to the suburbs." Mind you, we had just done a second urban store, just signed the lease. We hadn't even built it yet. And we're going to do more urban stores. They were doing great. They're open Monday through Friday, easy to run.
Here comes
no
the big
weekends.
why. Why did he want you to go to the suburbs?
He
There had to have
said-
been a reason.
He said, and I thought it was great, and I actually heard in later podcasts, with the Airbnb founders that they got similar advice. And by the way, this is, this dates. Airbnb hadn't even been invented when Tom Sims gave us this advice.
Yeah.
But he goes, as a founder, this is the one time that you are so in your business. I mean, he literally, when he'd come visit me, I was still making sandwiches. He goes, you are so in your business right now that you have the opportunity to not do iterations, but revolution, right? You have the opportunity to make big, bold adjustments. And this is the one time that you can do it. And if you can't be successful with sandwiches in suburbia, then you really don't have something.
So you're
that's that
testing
special,
the market, basically.
right? Like you don't have something that's that special.
So you're basically saying at this point in your life, or the evolution of your business's life, you are small and nimble enough. You're a jet ski. You can make pivots and adaptations. And
Yeah, I mean,
once you get bigger, it's gonna be harder to adjust.
Well, the
am I picking it up?
Airbnb advice, which was from one of their early investors in Airbnb, was, and this is like second year. He goes, "Hey, you got something pretty good. Now you actually have to go out to New York and talk to every one of your, the people that are having an Airbnb and get all that feedback while you're still on the ground. You're still right beside the programmers. You're still so deep in the business that you can make revolutionary changes,
Pivots.
huge pivots to the brand."
Yeah, there's a really great book, Eric Ries's The Lean Startup, that I think kind of dissects this mindset right here.
Well.
The importance of being small and nimble and getting that feedback. Because as you get bigger, it's the difference between the analogy is being a jet ski versus being a cruise ship.
That's right.
You can't adjust as a cruise
That's
ship.
right.
There's big things take a long time to
Yeah.
That's why linebacker or running or linemen aren't running backs. So they can't juke. They go straight. Fast.
No, so not only am I continue to have massive gratitude for Tom Sims, but the things that came out of it, we changed our ordering system from going to Suburbia. We adjusted the menu to be far more to have far more salads and to be great at salads, which was a huge pivot. There were so many huge. We changed the size of the dining room. We changed the size of to go and the to go area based on being in the business and that close to it in a place that was, I would say, arguably the first year of opening in Marina Del Rey in Suburbia was an absolute S show. It was guests screaming that whoever created this concept has to be the stupidest person that exists, and for you to have to hear that firsthand was pretty tough, but great. So we were able to really by our fourth and fifth store, we were able to implement all these changes and have some real deep success.
So when you were making these pivots, these early pivots, how did you know it was the right move? Was it just numbers, or was it gut, or combination?
No, I think that I go back to, are you making it by gut? I think your gut is so often informed by data. And again, it's not just the guest telling me what it should do. It's also looking at movements and trends, right? It's establishing in the middle of the lunch rush that there's not enough seats inside the building, or that the mom, if you're one of your core customers, or your core customer is a Lululemon mom, and she doesn't have enough room to push her double stroller right through the dining room, then your dining room doesn't have wide enough passing lanes. Yeah. It's those things continue
empathy.
to
putting yourself in their position,
inform you. Yeah. No. So again, to your point, I think that there is some gut, but it's completely informed by what you're observing from your guest, particularly your what you consider your core kind of guest, as well as trends and movements that you're seeing in the industry. And again, I go back to the studying of your competitors and understanding what's been successful for them. I laugh because Mendocino Farms really is an updated version of Panera Bread. And I can go into like how funny, but I can't believe that I wasn't like arrested or having a restraining order to not walk into the Panera Bread across the street.
But they didn't invent sandwiches, soups, and salads either. So
No. But the size of their dining room and the success they had in Suburbia, I would literally walk into a Panera Bread and I would actually measure the distance between tables, just to make sure like how far our tables were, right? Okay. Or looking at their communal tables and the ones that people sat at based on the width and distance.